what else can we do? I've got 4,700 experience. I could go back up to Charlotte, tell her about her missing friends. That would be one thing we can do. There's dialogue options with Dr. Swansea. And there were also a couple of cases of fatigue I needed to treat in Whitechapel. But Whitechapel has always seemed to be a difficult one for me to get to. For the moment, we're going to go back up to West End. The way should be clear. We'll do what we can, and I think before we leave the West End, that's when... we'll evolve, because we can evolve in the comfort of our own home, for once. It's been a long time since I've spent the night in my own home. Thinking about it as I'm passing, I did actually... We can always go back to Venus. I think I can ask Clarence a few things in the street, and then no doubt, I imagine we'll have a couple of things to question Venus on. Clarence, there you are. Before you go too far away from the shelter, Clarence, oh fine, we'll stand in the rain.
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
Well, we did treat you for... I can't quite remember what, but I gave you a treatment for something. I found one of your leaflets, Clarence.
Clarence, why have you distributed leaflets about vampires all across the West End?
I have to warn everybody about them. They've killed thousands of people already, unnoticed thanks to the epidemic. We are all in danger here.
Vampires in London? Come on, Clarence.
Thousand
Who's
seems
going
a
to
bit.
believe that?
I'm not mad, Jonathan. You have to believe me. I know they are real. They're all around us, even as we speak.
Some closer than you might think. Oh. I tell you what, let's humor him. Let's say I believe you.
Clarence, you've always been a reliable and a good friend to me. If you say you saw a vampire, then I believe you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for your trust. You don't know what that means to me.
It's all right. But if you want my help, you have to explain exactly what happened.
The first time it was in Rouen. I saw an officer drink the blood of a soldier. I saw its teeth. Saw it bite. It was a vampire, Johnny, and they're here too.
So, one of your officers was a vampire? I never really thought that vampires would be conscripted into the war. Somehow it never really occurred to me. I thought they'd all find a way to get out of it, but I suppose... Well, as we've met Jacques, they all have different vices when they're immortal. Risk of being mortally wounded for them's much lower than the average soldier. And I've also spoken to Venus. I understand your financial situation. You've been a little careless with your finances.
Do you realize you are ruining your family, Clarence? Don't you see the risk here?
Money isn't important. Not important when it is a matter of life and death. That is what my dear Venus cannot understand.
But how are you going to live? How are you going to live without money? You've got a family to care for. You need money.
I can't believe I'm telling you this, but if warning people is that important to you, why not choose a more efficient way to spend your money?
Don't you think I tried? I knocked at every door, went to every bank, I even tried to be published. No, Jonathan. This is a one-man war.
It's a one-man war, and Venus sees that. I reckon she's probably going to leave you before the end. People, well, they are laughing at you. They don't believe it, and I know that in your eyes, for every 99 people laughing at you, if one person believes you, it's worth it, but is it worth it for your family?
People will laugh at you, if they don't already. Think about your wife and your position. Think about your future.
I understand my wife's embarrassment, but gossips don't kill, vampires do. There'll be no future if people don't open their eyes.
But you're ostracizing your wife and yourself, and that's going to affect clearly your wife more than you, because you feel this is more important than anything else, including her. What have you discovered about vampires? You clearly have been doing more research into this after seeing the officer bite one of the soldiers.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here. And if you search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
When you say you're not alone, who are you talking about? Other citizens, or are we talking about the Pruin Guard?
What do you mean you're not alone? Who have you met?
The Guard of Pruin. The Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, Ichabod Throgmorton. Those names always pop up when you dig deep enough.
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End.
You need to
But
stay
as a
away
doctor,
from
maybe
Pruin.
you could, Johnny.
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence of vampires, Clarence?
Yes, Johnny. Please, gather all the information you can find about vampires and bring it to me. You're the only friend I have left. I need you.
Do I... What do I do here? This is like the leaflet dilemma with Mr. Throgmorton. It's one thing to post the leaflets in the effort to, you know, help people be wary of Skull and vampires that, you know, drink for pleasure and kill for pleasure. It's another to kind of thoroughly make life harder for myself and make my position harder. You shared your research, or have you shared your research then with many people?
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city, hoping that someday someone will realize I'm printing the truth.
The truth is out there. I don't know how accurate your information is, but you're onto something. The vampire attack, is this regarding the officer?
Clarence, tell me about the vampire you saw in France.
I was enjoying my leave in Rouen. I left the bar, took a shortcut back to the barracks. I saw it in a back alley. An officer in a stained uniform, biting into a soldier's neck.
I mean, the officer, it might not have actually been an officer. He might have just been wearing the uniform as a disguise. Did you ever see the officer again? Was he known to you?
Did you ever see that officer again?
No. He wore the uniform of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. I did some research, but found no trace of him. He probably stole it from a previous victim.
There we are. So, okay, not serving in the army. He might have simply been a French vampire. I mean, you were very drunk. Or how drunk are we talking?
But you were drunk, weren't you? Are you sure these two men were not just kissing?
Please don't insult me, Johnny. I hid, and I saw him leave. Then I saw the body, drained of all blood. I've seen the same marks here in London since I've returned.
He is thoroughly convinced. Right. Can you tell me about... Well, I am investigating the source of the cases breaking out in the West End. Have you sort of heard any rumors or anything about that?
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Can you help me?
Infection is everywhere these days. If you ever go to the park near that swanky house belonging to the Mullaneys.
Yes? What about the Mullaneys?
The Mullaneys?
What about their house?
Not enough noise for a big family with children. Not enough movement.
I mean-
Closed doors. What is going on in there? I wonder.
Curious. I'm gonna have to investigate that.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
You think Skull would be making a lot of noise? But Where are you, Charlotte? There you are.
The equality between men and women.
Charlotte, I have bad news.
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
Well, to begin, I have found Emily.
I have found out what happened to your friend, Emily.
I can handle the truth. There's no need to hide the bloody details.
Your friend was planning to become a vampire. She thought she'd met an honest one and made a deal with him. Unfortunately, Emily did not survive the process.
My mother told me many times about the risks of being turned. I often suspected she exaggerated the danger to avoid me being tempted.
No, the risk is real. Have you any idea what a body has to endure? To become an organism entirely consumed by its need to process and recombine blood.
I should never have talked to Emily about vampires.
You shouldn't.
I never thought she'd actually try it without me. Thank you, sir. Here, take this for your discretion.
Charlotte Steak? Hang on, what? So I'll have to leave the conversation and... Oh no, here we are. 35. Where's my... That's my remarkable Pruin steak. A light but solid steak carved from the strongest ironwood. The letters C-A-R engraved on its base. I imagine then that Lady Ashbury prepared this for Charlotte as a self-defense weapon. So this is then unupgraded. If I look at the details. So it's already level 5. I'm going to increase the stun points and then decrease the handling cost. Does cost 30 stamina right now, which is less than my remarkable pre-went steak. I think we're going to start using Charlotte's steak once we've upgraded it a little bit. And, Charlotte, I'm trying to locate the source of the epidemic here in the West End. Anything you can tell me about that?
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys. A nice family
Mullaneys?
who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
I do also need to visit the park, as that's where my father's letter was pointing me towards. Right, thank you very much, Charlotte. I hope you, rest easy, knowing the fate of Emily.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
And if I do, as last time, I'll give her your regards. I can hear my mother talking through the glass. To Mary and her son. I've decided it is time to evolve. We've done what we reasonably can, and I think if I don't evolve, it's just gonna prove to be more trouble than it's worth in the long run. Oh, but there's... It's level 29. I'm definitely not going to be able to fight them. The man... Oh, did I take too long? Was the man that I needed to rescue round here... gotten? Oh, that's, unfortunate. I didn't really have a chance of rescuing him, because I was too weak to do so. Is someone there? I was saying if someone was there. If it was a vampire around the corner that had abducted him, I definitely didn't have much of a chance in winning that fight. Right. Let's have a look at this steak. We want to improve the stun on contact. That goes without saying. And then we decrease the stamina cost, and now we have a stronger stake. Sword. I don't have the good handle parts to upgrade it, and that is a large upgrade. I really need to get on top of finding those handle parts. But, actually, no, the issue isn't handle parts, the issue is money. However, I might be able to sell my old stake now that I have a new one. Yeah, that gentleman's still in trouble. I can hear him calling for help. You know what? We'll give him a shot. We'll see if we can rescue him. And if we fail, we will evolve. Gonna have to break through those. Let's get a good vantage. This is where the vampire was, but he's gone. Has he gone? Oh, there he is. Hello. Ow. Okay. Yeah, I might not be able to win this fight, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Oh, sugar. He's level 27 and I'm only level 16. Spear. Come on then. Ow, don't rock. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no chance. We gave it a go, but my odds of winning when he can just tap me twice and I fall down don't look very good. Right. Evolution. We have a lot we could upgrade. Let's start with Rage. Costs 2,000, but it is, or has proven to be very useful. I do use it a lot. And that's taken us up to level 18 by spending 2,000 blood. Excellent. Spring, I do like Spring. I don't feel I can justify upgrading it again right now when I have other abilities to upgrade, such as Shadow Veil. I don't know if Shadow Veil is worth upgrading at all. It's good for cloaking around the city, but I don't use it in combat. So I feel like my blood would be better spent elsewhere. There is autophagy. I can make my heal stronger. I do have to stop and heal quite a lot. Do I want to forgo the instant healing for greater regeneration? I think I want the greater regeneration. It costs more blood, but it saves me more time. It might be a better idea to go for trading the instant health for greater regen, because it's only 50 health that we lose. It gives us better regen, but it does mean we have to fight more defensively until our health recovers. We're going to go with the instant heal. Costs a lot more, but that's what I'm feeling. Now, we can improve our base health for 1,000. I think we should probably do that because we are quite spongy. Well, we're not very spongy. We're very brittle. But will being a higher level offset that? Will being a higher level mean that those high level enemies don't hit me quite as hard? I do kind of want to go with hard biting. That's an extra 200% damage from my bite. Can improve the life regen when I use bites in combat. That would be useful. We can improve... Tell you what, let's go with Big Thirst. That improves the blood absorption when I use bites in combat. And then we're also going to go with Fast Regeneration. Increase life regen when you use bite in combat. And we've gone up 3 whole levels for that. Let's hope that man is still alive to save. I was about to say in the morning, but in the evening. The answer to that is no, he is quite dead. Kimura Tadao. Ah, it's a shame. It's frustrating because I had very little chance of winning the fight against the vampire that was holding him hostage. It's quite annoying, actually. But then again, my choices led me here. More people are falling sick in Whitechapel. It does make the case for going over there stronger, because that's more experience for me. All is well in Pembroke Hospital. And we are going to have to pay a visit to the docks again, because the condition is lowering. Where? Where, oh where? I do want... yeah, we had this investigation for this gentleman that we met who wanted basically to find a nice restaurant. Find an exceptional restaurant for Calhoun Russell. I mean, if we're looking in the West End, we could try and do that very quickly. There's one just over here, close to the park where I want to go anyway, because that's where the investigation with my father's going to be. Level 29, have you gotten stronger? Or were you always this strong? Oh, you bloody quit. You those thing at me as well. Oh, oh. You know what, let's unleash the beast. I also need blood. I need a lot of blood. Give me some blood. Come on. Big heal. Oh, right. Okay, that heal is way, way better. Costs more, but way, way better. I need a better weapon. Oh, no, that was foolish. I've got myself to blame for that. Heal. Ow. Come on. Let's get one. Right. Now then. How have you been? Oh, careful. Sugar. Right. I'm weak. I'm very weak. I think we'll go out the front door. It does make me wonder whether I do need to think about who I'm going to drink from next, because we did have a potential candidate in the docks. The serial killer, Seymour Fishburne. We could treat the people here and drink Seymour. That is one plan. I don't think anyone else really stood out as a worthy candidate, so to speak. If I'm forced to drink, it's going to be people who would leave the least negative impact with their absence, and in fact might improve the safety of the district in a serial killer's case.
Why are vampire hunters sniffing around here? I need to find out what they're after.
What is going on around here? What level are you, sir? 27, 20... Ah, it's a chaplain. This is behind the Ascalon Club. I'm almost surprised they allow laundry to be hung between their building and the next. Then again, it might be their laundry. However, thinking about it... Oh, hello. I was about to wonder, what are the Pre-1 guards sniffing after so close to the Ascalon Club? But whom are you? Excuse me, madam. Take a seat. I'd like to have a chat.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss,
The rats?
you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
The voice? Oh, are you the plaything of some vampire compelling you to eat rats? Tell me, what happened to you?
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
And you feel compelled to obey, almost as if a vampire is compelling you.
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
I absolutely will help this woman if I can. Is there anything you can tell me about the voice in your head? When did it start?
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Abandon you? So it's someone you don't want to be abandoned by? Who? What can you tell me about yourself?
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm hungry. Need to eat. Have you got something for me? Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reed?
Don't you remember who you are, miss?
I don't think you want to drink my
What you
blood,
did for
madam.
work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
Before what? Well, clearly before you started getting this voice in your head. And what can you tell me about this neighborhood? I need as much information as you can give me.
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
Shadows hunting shadows. I wish I could ask you more. I'm here to investigate the source of the epidemic, but if there's anything you can tell me about the local infection that might help me with your case.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
Infection. Infection. The rats carry it, I heard. Rats. 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 Many rats around that big house. Funny smell, too. Dead flesh.
And where is this house?
West of the park. Not very far. A big house with no sound, no light, no life left.
Smell of dead flesh. Always with that house by the park.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Thank you. Then you... take care. Clearly you're some vampire's plaything right now. If you campaign for good causes, if that includes women's suffrage, then maybe it's a vampire with old-fashioned views. don't quite know how to begin helping this woman, but I feel like I need to help this woman urgently. If she's being compelled to eat rats, she's gonna catch something that's gonna kill her one day. I thought that was a wanted poster for a moment, but it's just a coughs and sneezes, spread diseases sort of poster. Is she after becoming a vampire and immortal? And what have we here?
It's locked.
Then how do I get here? I am curious. This seems to lead into the sewer. Maybe this will lead into that locked courtyard. If I follow it far enough. I'm getting Fergal flashbacks. I think it's safe to assume Fergal is thoroughly dead. We didn't seem to confirm the kill, but he hasn't reared his head again, and I think he would have gone crawling back to his master. The myth of the horned vampire. What is a tale but forgotten or mythicized history? By essence, vampires are related to the concept of immortality, and they can be perceived as entities that live through centuries, thus becoming mythical figures themselves. But what about the concept of a tale so old it could be more a myth among the vampires? I know it may sound... Wait, the horned vampire? The apparition of my maker has horns. Right, we need to read this and pay attention, because this could be a clue. I know it may sound vertiginous, that's a good word, but we know as scholars that the impossible is just an unexplained or undocumented event. For a few years now, I've tried to find traces of a figure rarely seen amongst the English immortals, the horned vampire. Through centuries, less than 10 occurrences of this figure have been found in various documents gathered by our order. The figure of a man-shaped silhouette, sometimes made of blood, absolutely my maker. Sometimes made of mist of rain, or rain. That appears from Wales to Scotland. Only to immortals who have no idea what this thing could be. What is this creature with large deer antlers? Is it related in any way to the figure of Cernunnos, the ancestral horned god of the Celts? We don't know at all. But now, think about this. Vampires themselves have no idea what this creature could be. Now that's a frightening idea. We may be in the presence of something so old that only small hints of its existence can be found through eons. If this is true, we, as Brothers of St. Paul, need to investigate this entity, for it could help us understand the forgotten origin of vampires. As a reminder, I add to this letter a transcription of the only written evidence we possess concerning the horned vampire, the odd poem entitled The Dreams of the Red Queen. Supposedly composed by this entity. According to some vampire testimonies, this creature has sometimes been heard singing, while briefly appearing somewhere in Great Britain. I invite all our brothers to study this text and consider it a testament of forgotten history. 12 dreams for the Red Queen under the crown of stone, that she may linger longer with eyes kept closed. 11 thorns blooming from her troubled brow, awaiting the next harvest to be gleaned at brisk springs. 10 copper veins ripped from the belly of the earth, melted into tears flowing toward the banished brothers. 9 glorious pyres on a scorched plain, to punish those whose hand was slow to obey. 8 voracious beasts born from 8 restless nights, their backs hardened by their race with the sun. 7 notes of warning in the summer sky, compelling child to shielded sheets of sleep. 6 watchers bent on hunting trails, shadows of their spears trace the tired furrows. 5 houses to fall before song's end, then 5 more reborn from their blackened ashes. 4 nails piercing the flesh of the sinner, restlessly hung to the dark wood of his crimes. 3 books scribbled by pen of the dancer, who refuses to answer the call of the abyss. 2 giant rival snakes slither in ageless forest, coiled to the bones of mortals destined for the grave. 1 prayer for the summoned, called by the song, child born from darkness, whose path he must find. From Drinking at the Fountain of Knowledge by Usher Talltree. That poem seems familiar. And the Dreams of the Red Queen. He mentioned a hungering queen. A ravenous queen? I can't remember how he phrased it. But why would that be down here? Which way did I came from this direction. That makes this urge to explore the sewer all worth it, no matter what else I may or may not find down here. Hopefully it's going to be good handle parts. And money, because I need a lot of money. I'm a poor vampire right now. Luckily, there's a lot of shillings laying around in a sewer. Unluckily, I found a trail of blood